I moved to India from Tokyo, and this is the 10 things that I learned living in India. So those of you that already know me or wants to listen to the 10 lessons straight away, you can skip this part. I'm Anna. I go to a school called Minerva University. I am a junior year student, and at the school we basically move to different countries every year or every semester, and one of our locations was in India. So that's why I moved to India for 4 months. I made content there. I thought this was gonna be a great opportunity to kind of reflect on how I've been spending my time in India and what I learned there. So I organized it into 10 lessons, and I'm planning to publish a PDF version of it as well. So be excited for that. Yeah. Let's get into it. First one is family is first no matter where you are. So I noticed this first when I went on a travel to Varanasi and watched an arti, which is like a ceremony that happens every evening. What I realized for the first time is that half of the people were like raising their phones up to record. And I was like, wow, like these people are so dedicated recording the memory and then maybe sharing it to other people. And then I kind of like sneak peeked into their screens, but it was showing like other people's faces. So they're like families, they're friends, like people that they love and they're genuinely close with, right? And that's when I realized, wow, like people like to share the important moment lively, like at the same time. And I thought that was like a new experience for me. Yeah, I do have like important moments that I would want to share it with my family, but I'm not so passionate that I share it at the spot. And so that's when I felt like, wow, these people, they think about their families, they think about the people they love first. And I was very amazed by that. Similar thing happened when we were on an Uber ride. Uber driver like stopped suddenly in the mid of like a highway, and we were like, what the heck is going on? Was there like an accident? He just like goes away. He just like goes out of the door. He picks up this like colorful balloon and he hands it to my friend that was on the passenger seat, and he was like, do you mind carrying this, because I really want to give this to my son. And we were like, okay, like we got it. That was also a moment when I realized they are always like thinking about families in their mind. And it was also very different from what I've experienced in the US and Japan. So that was really fun to experience, and that was like a new discovery for me. Lesson 2. Every state is a new country. I think this is like a well-known knowledge for most of the people that live in India, but every state has new cultures, new languages, new food, new like traditional dances, like literally everything. If you go on an overnight bus, for example, and then go to Bangalore from Hyderabad, people are speaking completely different new language. Like what they have in the city and what they can offer is very, very different. I guess in Japan it's pretty similar in that like every states do have special things that they offer, but it's not like they have completely new languages, and it's not like you can go to a place that has a whole different environment with just an overnight bus. I thought that was pretty cool for me, and I was privileged enough to experience that in pretty much every break that I had. I went to a lot of states. Varanasi, I went to Bangalore, I went to Goa, I went to like the northeast areas and stuff like that. And I feel like every state felt like almost like a new country because they have completely different things that we can eat, we can see. There's like mountains and there's like beaches and there's like safaris, and I think that was really cool for me. People should know this, and it's not like, oh, like you traveled to India, like you know the whole thing. Like, no, I lived there for 4 months and I feel like I don't know like even 10% of the culture, because there's so many out there. Like there's so many other things to offer out there. Like, that's one of the reasons I want to go back there again and experience other cultures. I did not go to Kerala. I did not go to like Mumbai, Chennai, like Bombay. So I would love to visit there as well. Lesson 3: think outside the box. Okay, and I'm gonna talk about matcha for a second, okay? Because I saw so many varieties of matcha in India, like coconut matcha, mango matcha, strawberry matcha. Like, I've never seen those in Japan. Like, what are you talking about? And they're so good. And that's when I realized, like, oh wow, like people like here have the ability to kind of make something from like other countries, like in matcha, make it into like something that it's like even better. And I was surprised by that so much. And I was like obsessed with coconut matcha. So Hands up to that. And I saw that with coffee as well. I'm sorry I'm like talking about beverages, but like they had like cranberry coffee, they had espresso tonic that I really really loved. But it's kind of like combining coffee with like juices or like some other beverages that they like and then making it into like something that they can truly, enjoy. Just on the surface level, the menus were amazing, but the deeper creativity that they had, it was worth learning about because it taught me that, oh, like you don't have to be attached to one single culture or one single aspect of something, but you can kind of like combine it and make something new, and it might even be better than the original one. I think that was a really worthy lesson that I took away from India. 4, yoga is not about relaxation. I want to give a shout out to my yoga instructor Krishna for this. Before coming to India, I thought yoga was all about like meditation, having like candles and then like doing poses for relaxing and just being mindful of your own body. But it was so much more than that. I still remember the first time I did yoga in Hyderabad. I went to a yoga studio, and then we started like breathing in such a weird way. We were like holding one nostril and going like, and I was like, what the heck are we doing? And then we started doing those like poses. I didn't think my body was capable of it. And my body was like so sore for the next 3 days. And the thing is, one of my bucket lists when I come to India was to take RYT 300, which is like the teacher certificate. I used to do Pilates and I was really interested in pursuing yoga as well. I was deciding on taking it even before coming to India. So I was like, okay, I need to commit to it, even though like my first impression was completely different from what I've expected. I had a lot of memories through it. The instructor, Krishna, he's really nice, but he's very strict when it comes to teaching yoga. I don't remember the time, like the amount of times he was like pointing at my legs, pointing at my knees, and being like, no, that's not how you do it. And I was like, sorry. I'm not kidding. I was sore for like almost half the time that I was in India because of yoga. I think yoga was so much more than just doing it for relaxation, but kind of being mindful of your own body. I cannot express how much like consciousness I gain on my body and how I move them, and like which part of my muscle is working at this specific moment. And it's not even how I move my body, it's about how I breathe or how I eat or how I like drink water, because it's all related to the energy we talk about in the philosophy of yoga especially. And I never expected this to happen. I know it sounds cliche, but I think yoga was more of like a lifestyle change other than like a form of exercise or a form of relaxation. I'm really glad that I learned that in India, which was like a place for yoga. 5, time is the most valuable thing you can give to others. This is going to be about Japan, but in Japan there's a term called meiwaku. It's like the idea of not being an inconvenience to other people. So you try to minimize the time you spend with like business person, for example, as much as possible because they have other things to do. Or you just try to do as much things you can do by yourself because you don't want to like be a burden to someone in a way that you ask for help very frequently. So I think there's this concept in Japanese culture especially, and I used to think that this is normal and like a great way to live, like an efficient way to live. There was this time when I was on a trip to Northeast that I talked to this one man that was working at a chai stall, and it was like near midnight I think, and we were having like a conversation about like just random things, like where I came from, like how I like India, how they like India, where they've traveled. Like we were just having a conversation, and like obviously like they weren't able to like work or like talk to other customers while we were having a conversation, but we had such a good time, and that's like one of the core memories that we had. And I feel like that's because they offered us the time, like specifically to talk to us, and it like they made it feel so welcoming at the same time. And so that's when I realized to make good memories or have good interactions with other people, you have to give them time, like you have to offer them time, and if they offer you time, you should be very appreciative about it. So I think I became very conscious about the amount of time that they give us and what that means. So yeah, I'm really, really thankful for that memory as well, and I miss that guy so much. Lesson 6, spice is inescapable. No joke, like in every restaurant I went to in the beginning, they would ask me like spice level, and I would be like, no spicy, no spicy. Like I literally said no. and it was like spicy every time. It's like very inescapable, like I swear to God. It's literally like you cannot like say no to it because like it's literally in the cuisine already, right? I took a cooking lesson once and I realized like how many spices, like how like you use 12 spices for one dish, and that's like unbelievable. But each spice has specific meaning, history, and culture to it. And that's when I realized this is not just about like you liking the spice, but it's also about like the history behind that cuisine. Surprisingly, like from like second month or something, I kind of got used to the overall spiciness. And yeah, like I truly enjoyed it so much. Except for biryanis, like every time I ate biryanis, I thought my tongue was gonna like get cut off because of how spicy it is. So if you're thinking of going to India, okay, you might struggle with the spiciness for a little bit, but after a month, I think you'll be fine. And just like know that it's not made to like make you suffer or make you feel like, oh my God, like I'm sweating, like I feel so refreshed. Maybe it has that effect, but also each spice has like a different meanings to it. So maybe kind of like asking about it to people or like researching about it, it might make you see the cuisine in a different perspective. And 7, curiosity beats anything. I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, but I speak no Telugu or Hindi, even though I lived there for 4 months. Yeah. And the thing is, a lot of people don't speak English that often, but I feel like a lot of the conversations that are memorable to me, we didn't need any languages, you know? Like for example, I had this one time where I went to a salon for a collaboration for my Instagram, and there was this nailist. She was a beautiful woman, and we tried to have a conversation, but she spoke no English. I didn't speak languages that she knew either. So we were kind of like talking with like gestures and sometimes like drawing maps. I literally drew a map of Japan to show her where I lived and where I was born. So we were like kind of like talking in like a sort of like a game-ish situation. But it was so wholesome because I think what mattered was that we were so curious of each other. That made it so like much better than just having a conversation with a mutual language without any curiosity, because we knew that we were both like willing to know each other despite any like commonalities in our language. That's when I realized like, oh, like you don't have to give up talking to someone or connecting with someone because you don't speak their language. That was like such a memorable experience, especially because I went to a country for the first time that didn't speak a language that I was familiar with. So I think that was like a biggest takeaway for me. Lesson 8, culture lives in fashion. I loved looking at people on the streets. I saw so many people wearing like saris, kurta, like traditional clothes in general. I never see that in Japan. Like maybe if you go to like a touristy places, you would see people wearing like rental kimonos, but I wouldn't see people wearing it on a daily basis. And I love cultural clothes. So just seeing people wearing like those colorful like clothes and just walking around, it just made me feel so inspired. And I feel like it's so crazy that people that live there are reflecting those cultures. And as a person that is very interested in like cultural fashion or just fashion in general, that was such an inspiring moment. And I really, really hope that that would continue for a long time, even if like Western fashion dominates the country or whatever. I really hope that I would get to see saris on the streets. How people wear them, like in different colors, it just shows their personality and what they like. And I think that's the coolest part about just having colors and having cultural wear that you could be proud, like you could genuinely be proud of when you're wearing them. One episode that I have for this is that I wore a lehenga on this wedding that I attended, like as my school event. And that was like the best moment because I felt like I was genuinely part of the culture. And I don't know if some of you guys saw, but I also wore like a kurta when I went to Taj Mahal. And you know, it just feels so nice. So I think that was like a special memory I had that kind of combines those aspects of fashion. Number 9, feel the grass with your feet. So there was this park called Botanical Garden that was really close to where we lived, and it was really, really nice. Like I went on a morning walk, morning run, and like I saw so many like peacocks, grass, like so many plants that I haven't seen before, and it was so nice. And there was this one time where I met this man just like took off his shoes and he was walking barefoot on the grass. It was my first time kind of like seeing people like in the process of taking off their shoes. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. So like continued running, and I realized how so many people just don't wear shoes at all. And I was like, wow, like so many people are just out here like walking barefoot, which is so crazy. I feel like this is also related to Japan, but in Japan, like you take off your shoes when you go inside the house. You wear something because like feet is like considered something that you should keep clean, and if it's dirty then you can't go inside people's houses or like go inside in general. So I feel like it was very new that people were like willing to take off their shoes, and it like I did it and it's so like refreshing, you know? And it's similar to this, like people wear like flip-flops all the time, and I feel like wearing flip-flops just makes you become more aware of the ground you're like setting your foot at. I am doing it in Japan even after I came back as well. That's like a new habit that I acquired. I love India. I did not want to leave. Like 4 months ago, I did not expect myself to be like missing India this much because I was biased, okay? I was like, I would make sure that I won't get diarrhea. I would have great curry, and then I would look at the textiles because I was so excited to see like saris and kurtas and all these traditional clothes. And yeah, it met my expectation, but it went way beyond just curry and kurtas and whatever that I was expecting. First of all, I did not get diarrhea at all. But there's like so much more people and there's so much more nature that India can offer. And like I said, there's so many places that I haven't been to yet. So I really miss that so much. So that's my 10th lesson, that I really love India and I would definitely go back. I'm really excited for that opportunity to come. Those were my 10 lessons. I hope you guys got like some inspirations or, you know, some learnings out of it. But I'm really, really excited to share this. Like I said, I have the PDF version that I made a lot of effort in, so I'm really excited to share this with you guys. I'll like put the descriptions or PDFs down below so you guys can take a look. I'm really glad that you guys made it till the very end. Thank you so much. Check out my other Instagram or like TikTok if you have time. Yeah, see you on the next video. Bye!